the market might be ready to go ahead and take off. We're going to get it started with the NASDAQ, but the NASDAQ today has moved back into an operational buy signal as it's breaking out to new highs. Kind of looks like that it's ready to go into takeoff mode. TSV and MACD are now both trending higher. That's very nice to see. And you can see stochastics is getting very strong and the RSI is slightly trending higher. So that's exactly what we want to see there. The NASDAQ 100 is also in a very similar situation, but it is still stuck in between its two price ranges. So it exactly hasn't switched to a buy signal yet, but overall, you can see TSV and MACD look good. Stochastics and RSI the same thing. The S&P 500 also rallied today and did so with higher volume. Technically, that's good enough for me. I'm switching this model back to a buy signal because of the higher volume. TSV and MACD is in confirmation. Stochastics and RSI are also in confirmation with all trending up. So for the first time since this choppy trading, since the February highs have happened, we have all of our oscillators on all of our indexes confirming the move higher. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was also up 0.49%. Once again, TSV, MACD is good, Stochastics is good, and RSI, while it's not very good on the short term, still it's trending ever so slightly higher overall. Dow Jones model remains neutral, just like the NASDAQ 100, S&P 500, NASDAQ have switched, and the Russell 2000 remains in a neutral condition, and this is the one index where we don't see on the short term confirmation, but overall longer term, the trend is higher in MACD and TSV. Just shorter term, it's a little bit muddled. And you can see the stochastics is trending higher. RSI is trending higher, but short term, it's a bit muddled. But it would be great to see this Russell 2000 confirm the move in the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, which are both now under operational buy signals. And then the Dow Jones and Transportation Average confirmation. Yesterday, it showed significant relative strength to the market following its big 1.70% up day. Today, it's confirmation of that gain on even heavier volume, so very strong move today. And it's also a pocket pivot point buy signal. TSV, MACD, stochastics, and RSI are all confirming the move, so that's excellent, confirmation across the board. And intraday, we only had a few sells trigger. VLTC was a full sell in the morning. Looks like we nailed that as it has reversed its supernova move after its parabolic climax move. Went supernova on Tuesday. Today we get the reversal. First red day since the move started, really. VLTC is done. If you're not out of all of it and got out of it anywhere from 17 to 20 in the morning, you got to get all out of it now at 15. There is no way in hell I would let it retrace back to 11.11. As far as I'm concerned, this stock has topped. I am not very confident ever about anything anymore. Thanks to QE, I'm confident that VLTC is done. No shares to short at E-Trade or IB. Centerpoint Securities is the only one that has them, and I don't know if they have them anymore. So that was the only full sell in the morning that I want to go over. GSM hit my intraday sell stop in today. 2056 was my final sell stop. It ran through that, and closing at 2046 puts it above the low a day here of 2047. But I would say that any move, any close below 2057 is just not good. So it is a full sell, despite BOP even increasing to another higher level. And hell, if it finds support here, does a big reversal, here's what I've done. I've put a buy stop back on just above the 2125. So I have a buy stop to buy back all those shares if it trades at 2126. And I'll be going over another buyback because I had another stock hit intraday that I don't want to get rid of now. BJRI has also failed. To me, it needed to trade below 50.31. Do you see that low a day, 50.27? Guess whose shares those are? Mine. So I'm out of this stock at 50.27, the exact low a day of today's session. However, it's now failed its 50-day moving average on a very heavy volume. The only way this stock would have prevented it being a full sell tonight is if volume would have been below average. Then it would have been anywhere from 50 to 75%, because it should not have been failing this low a day of this first signal date, 50.69 first off. Then the second signal date is 50.67. So no matter what, it should be closing above those two levels. 50-54 close on above average volume, lower BOP. That is a full sell. There are no partial sells. Two new long positions, SOXL. SOXL is perfect speculator scan quality stock, obviously, because it's over $50 a share, and it's up huge, since, last year. How much is it even up? It's, near 100%, I know that much. That much is a given to be in this scan first off. At one point it was up 100%, so that's why it's in there. So SOXL, taking out its 50-day moving average on above average volume, producing a pocket pivot point signal. That's a 3-time semiconductor bull ETF, so we could get some major alpha. It kind of looks like it's AVGO, doesn't it? SWKS, AVGO. Kind of looks like what SOXL is, but I don't want to add to AVGO. I would much rather add to SOXL because you get about the two stocks, but SOXL should really start outperforming if AVGO and SWKS start moving up. But I'm going to take the signal. Signal is a signal is a signal. If we're wrong, we risk 5%. Whoops. So it's not a trade without a lot of risk, but there's not much risk. And if it closes below 143.95, the 50-day moving average, we're already going to be out of half of it. And if we're totally wrong, like I said, we risk about 5%. But SOXL 2.5%. Also, Genpact Limited, higher price stock. This stock only showed up in my price volume BOP surge scan, but since the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 are back under a buy signal, these stocks can become 2% or more signals. I'm going to go ahead and keep it as a regular 2.5% signal because the BOP volume and price surge is all nice today with the pocket pivot point signal, and frankly, we only risk like 2% if we're wrong. Earnings are on the 30th, so hopefully you don't get a severe gap down. But I tell you what, only having less than 2% risk in the stock before we know that we're wrong, I have no problem making this a 2.5% position. But technically, it should only be 2%. But I say, why the hell not? Maybe I will only make it 2% if I don't have that much in the cash account. But margin account, 2.5%. And then intraday today, HRTG ripped through my final sell stop, which was the low a day here, 2060. So 2059 was my final sell stop. I think it got out at 2058. Got all the way down to 2009 and looked good for a little while, but a huge reversal on huge volume with BOP going already from a very strong and growing green level to max green, closing above where it opened. That, if I just got this, because it's a CanSlim quality stock, if I just saw this stock on its own, that's a new long signal, so that's 2.5%. And the mere fact that I was just long and I need to add back to it, therefore, fact is 2.5%. But let's say if I was already long, if it's just in the CanSlim scan, isn't that just a 1% signal? You are correct. So let's do it this way. 1% for being in a CanSlim scan, 1% for being in the price volume BOP scan, especially since it's got max green BOP, so that's 2%, and then 0.5% for the stock that we got rid of because it was about the shares sold today was 0.5% of my account capital. So let's add the 0.5% to the 1% for CanSlim, 1% for price volume scan, and we come up with a 2.5% long position. So if we're treating it as an add signal, or if we're treating it as a new long signal, it's 2.5%. So HRTG, 2.5%. Low a day is the final cut loss. G, 2.5%. This is the final cut loss. And SOXL, I would not hold this if it trades below. You can go ahead and use this level, 133.70, but really it shouldn't trade below 140.53.